All right, there we go. So, by the way, welcome to all here. I think the stream had been cutting out because I had this thing running for a good bit, but for some reason it was not picking up. So just now, I noticed that at some point the thing went out. I don't know when exactly the stream cut out, but either way, we are good now. In any case, at this point, we are 27 minutes into the match, 0-0. Very impressive effort from Abby Smith, the goalkeeper for Denver. Appears to really be calling the shots early on. Have some good aggression coming from their front line, specifically Janine Sonis, their captain. And yeah, Denver has definitely shown me a lot. As an expansion team, they are looking really solid so far. Right. A lot of pressing forward. The counterattack, whenever it's 50-50, neither team has really been able to string a lot of passes together once they start going into the air. So no one's really been able to sustain a lot. And the keepers have actually been instrumental in keeping the pace slower. Right, so here we go. It's pressed forward. This could be an opportunity for Denver. There's someone guarding in front. Will that be enough? No! Oh, there was a chance right there. Melissa Kostler had basically had her back turned when she got control of the ball. Was able to spin through. It was overshot initially, so let me just kind of guide you through what I'm seeing here in the replay. So yeah, she can't get herself turned around, finally gets enough space to try, and it goes off the right post at the front and ricochets, and there's almost a chance for a rebound shot, but the Seattle backs were already in place, so it was very unlikely. And yeah, she's able to send it out. We're going to have a corner kick coming here as we approach the end of the 29th minute. Kick comes. Ball is headed, but it can't get directed towards the net, and it just falls well past the goal. Yeah, I believe it was Reed. Yep. Yeah, Megan Reed had the header, but since she had so many people around her, she could not get her head to go sideways. So instead, it was just a straight-on header back in the direction of the corner, and it just rolled out. This time, the keeper will not take the goal kick. Instead, they choose to have Curry pass it to the keeper, who then starts to control it, and again is taking up the position of walking the ball up the box for setting up for a counterattack. This time, she skips the defensive line and sends it towards the midfield. So here we go. Ball being pressed through, and ball goes out. Referee is signaling ball going to be a throw into Denver here as we hit the 30-minute mark. Huerta trying to mark right now. Throw comes over. Ball is headed by Seattle, and now they're on a counterattack. Ball being pressed to the left side, but not fast enough. Denver getting the ball again, and they are going on the counterattack now. It's against Sonis. Sonis running basically unchecked. Is in a position where she has to make the pass finally. It's going over. It looks like... There it is. It's Yuna. But she loses control of the ball. Now Mondesir gets on a pass up. She presses it forward. Ball goes through the legs of her recipient, and Sonis once again with the ball for Denver. So here we go. Being walked through right now here as we are nearing the end of the 31st minute. Looks like they've blown the whistle for a stoppage. Focus in. It looks like it's going to be Seattle ball. Focus in on Mesa. Yep, it is sent over. Ball ends up landing at the feet of Denver players. Once again, an attempt at a counterattack. I will say, Seattle has had what appeared to be more opportunities, but Denver has been very efficient with the ball anytime they actually are managing it. So here we go again. Seattle trying to press up, but it's immediately taken. yeah, a lot of play here in the attacking third for Denver. They have, once again, with a team that's running a 4-forward set, they need to be able to make this counterattack work, and ball needs to stay in their offensive half. Ball is crossed, but there's 3 blue jerseys surrounding and nothing doing. Here we go. Ball being bounced around. An attempt being made to try to get a shot. Will this be the opportunity? Denver at the top of the box. Ball is shot and well out of play. Goes over the net and almost made it over the palm trees to the visiting team buses. Which, I know it's kind of the design of the stadium. I would recommend in the future you keep the visitors' buses behind the bleachers. It's just an awkward look. But in any case, Sonis in the corner. She's going to be taking the corner kick. Ball comes up. Ball, it manages to catch a Denver head. However, it barely ricocheted off the top. So no chance that's actually going to get directed anywhere, and it just rolls out the other side. So Seattle throw in coming. Then it's a pass back and forth. And once again, we have a keeper walking the ball up the field. So just looking at their advertising, April 9th and 12th, there's going to be some club friendlies happening. So that's something to look at. They got Club America Femenil going Kansas City Current. I think I saw Palmeiras having a team in that. I couldn't recognize the 4th one. So if you're looking to see how some of the other nations of Latin America's teams have been doing and how they stack up against the NWSL, you can get kind of a glimpse of that over the next few days. Let's see if that's on the 12th. No, that will not be a manageable time frame, unfortunately. I was going to see if I could go in on that one. That will not be an option, unfortunately. All right, so 34 minutes in, still 0-0. Ball passed. Mondesir trying to get control, but man, she was being attacked on the right side by 2 different players. I think both her and Sonis ended up down at the end. I don't know how that was not a foul on either player. Maybe they just couldn't tell who actually they were supposed to call it on, but there are 2 players down at the moment. Let's see here. So yeah, she goes to it. Yeah, it's the 2 most aggressive players, one for each team. You have Sonis and Mondesir going at it and both getting kind of rolled over on each other. Sonis is moving gingerly on her left foot. They haven't shown Mondesir. Nope, she's same way on the right leg. So yeah, that was an aggressive play for the ball. I will definitely say those 2 have been the biggest source of offensive entertainment on each side, making a lot of attacks happen. It's fun that's happening on the same side of the field. Sun has been going down. Now the light of the sun is no longer going along the top. Instead, the entire middle third of the field is in shadow. It's only the area surrounding the box on the upper halves that you can see light. Ball kicked back again. Dickey sending it back to her backs, trying to swing on both sides. Mason not able to do much, so now McLaren going to try. Nope. Sends it back to Dickey. To McLaren again, trying to see if there's an opening for any type of counterattack. Finally, she sends it forward. Mondesir not able to handle it, unfortunately, for her. The backs were perfectly placed, and that ball never got near her. So they end up getting enough control to send it back, though. So McLaren again with the ball. Now over to Mason. A lot of control for Seattle, but it ultimately boils down to they're holding the ball into the defensive third and just kind of controlling the clock as they make something try to happen. Again, it's a lot of back and forth between Mason, Huerta, and McLaren, just passing until there's an opening. They're a very patient team, I will say that. Finally, Mondesir gets it, presses it forward. Ball gets sent back, and it rolls out. They're going to give the throw to Denver, and they go right back on the counterattack. Sonis throws it into the backfield, gets sent back to Abby Smith, who sends it forward. I believe that's Kurtz with the ball. His white jersey's in the sunlight, not doing me favors. All right, presses it forward. I believe that's Lynch with the ball. Now it's going through. It went to Reed and then to Lynch. Now it's back over. Sonis again. The cross gives her the control of the ball, but it's taken promptly. Curry sends it back to McLernan, who sends it back to Dickey, and we are back where we started. We are on an endless loop of a few kicks happening around in the attacking third, and then Seattle retreating to basically swap back and forth between their backs and their keeper until they have time to go on another attack. Which, if you're playing an expansion team, which will tend to have a younger unit and a less chemistry-based unit, that actually isn't a bad strategy because you're trying to goad them into a mistake or get impatient. So it is a sound strategy, and yeah, you can tell Seattle has definitely got a game plan pretty thoroughly scouted out, and what's to be expected with a manager who's won Coach of the Year 3 times. All right, once again, McLaren. This time they've actually pressed up and they're in the circle. So we're actually near midfield. Passes it up to Curry, who has more of a green light to go up. She presses forward. The cross actually does manage to land in their favor, but she's not able to secure it and has to chase it backwards for a few yards. So no actual attack materializes. Mondesir now playing on the opposite side of the field, trying to get the ball to the right side. The cross doesn't work. James Turner sends it up. Immediately headed away by the defense of Denver. Curry again gets the ball, rolls out, gets it to Mondesir, who's back in her proper position. Now she's in the box, sends it back to Fishlock. Fishlock sends it up. That was Huerta with the ball, but she was not able to secure it, and it rolls out the side, or rather past the goal line, and it's going to be a goal kick. 39 minutes in, still no score. But a solid effort so far. Definitely impressed with what I've seen so far from the two squads. They're playing some high-level ball here. I'm thoroughly impressed with how an expansion team has managed to get to this point very early on in their existence. Only a few matches in, to be exact. Anyway, defense, the backfield for Denver is mimicking, once again. Abby Smith, having her as a veteran voice is major for this Denver team, I think, because she can see what's going on the field and immediately took command of the situation. Ball being pressed up. Still in the midfield right now, so we're seeing an attempt at a counter from Yuna. Yuna sends it over to Sheehan, who presses it up. I believe that's Lynch. Ball gets popped up and goes out the goal line. We have another goal kick. It's again about 40 minutes, 20 seconds. All right, so here we go. About to be the immediate counter. Went out the back again. We got a corner kick being set up here by Denver near the end of the 41st minute. Ball getting sent over, and it's coming from the far side this time. An attempt at a counter ricochets off a few players. That actually had a shot, but it rolled too far to the left. Keeper was not ready for it when it did, but luckily for her, ball ended up about a foot to the left of the goalpost. So this was actually a really well set play. Gets deflected in the post by Mercado, but it rolls to a Denver player who kicks it back into the crowd where it bounces off a foot. I'm trying to see who actually would have gotten that. Was it was a Denver player, so it would have been credited to Kaylee Kurtz had it worked out. But it looks like they are still calling it a corner, which means that at some point on the way out, it deflected off of a Seattle player. All right, so here we go. The corner comes through. Another header that's not able to be managed. Denver again trying to make something occur, but nothing doing. Has to send it back to the backfield. They're still on the attacking third. They're trying to get themselves back into the box. They pop it up. A header attempt, and it has to get blocked by the keeper. Good save, diving down by Claudia Dickey. She was not going to be able to make it on by legs, so she jumps back and basically has to knock the ball with her left hand as she dives downward. Yeah, this was an awkward position for the dive, but she was able to pull it off. She had her back pass it to her so she could walk it. Again, sends it for a counterattack. It looks like we've got Mason pressing the ball again. Ball getting walked back and forth here by Meza, who tries to press it up. All right, it's now in the hands of Denver again, and Sonis now on the right side trying again to make a pass happen. This one works out. She's going to try to get it to Yuna. Yuna gets it deflected. It's going out the side. That's going to be a throw-in. Less than 2 minutes to go in the standard time. The throw-in goes into the box. Seattle's able to secure it and pop it out. But in their attempt to play it, Montesier's not able to secure it. It's another throw-in. So Denver trying again to make a counterattack out of this. Very impressive play here so far. Ball gets sent back. Abby Smith lets the ball roll to her. We're near the end of the 44th minute here. The body language on Yuna appears to be one of frustration. Which, to be fair, this is a very stop and start kind of game. I can imagine for players who are still getting their feet down, that might be an issue. All right, so here we go. Ball pressed up. Denver now actually leads in shots 8-7. That said, on target, it's 2-1 in favor of Seattle. There have been some good looks. But yeah, a lot of shots have been missed, just going wide. But a lot of good scoring opportunities here for Denver. But here's a possible one for Seattle. Montesier gets it. She sends it. Tries to set up. She was trying to get a shot for Fishlock, but ball can't be secured. It goes off the outside of her leg, and it just bounces away. And here we go. We are in the last few seconds of regular time. They'll be putting up the injury timer in a moment. The throw-in bounces out and rolls out again. They're only adding a minute. So unless Denver can get a goal on this next play here, I would suspect we're going to see no goals this half. Here we go. Ball getting pressed up. Seattle tried to counter it. Denver's able to outrun it, send it back to Smith. Now it's coming down the right side again. Sonis comes down. She wants to try to make an attack happen quickly. There is still 30 seconds before they blow the whistle, at least. So if they want to try to do something, they can. But it's right now in the hands of Smith. I'm wondering if she's telling them to tone it down, and let's see if we can just get something going for the next half. All right. Ball gets sent back, and no, they want to try to attack, but it's not. There's no real opening. I think Smith's given the order to just keep it in place until they just blow the whistle. We're a minute in. Will they let them play? So far, they haven't blown it yet. They've gotten into the attacking third, so now I don't know if they are going to blow the whistle on this. Sonis tries to cross it into the box. There's actually a chance here. Nope, it goes too long. There was a real shot there. But it's still, no, it's not out yet. They were able to secure it early. Right now, I believe they've got a good 5 people surrounding the box. Sonis takes a shot. It gets deflected. Are they going to give her a corner? Yep, they are not going to say. They're going to call the half over. All right. So then, that means we are going to halftime here. Which means I need to back this thing up. There we go. Oh, almost had it. I'm going to try that again. There we go. 45 exactly. Yeah, good effort so far, though. Definitely not a bad half. All right, so let me run through the matches so far. We'll go over this as we go through halftime here. I'm going to grab water here in a bit, but I want to just go through what we've seen this week so far. A lot has occurred. So going through the NWSL, we've been through 6 matches already. I'll give you my thoughts to this point. Yesterday we had 4 matches. San Diego Wave doing exactly what you'd expect them to do. They got the win over Boston Legacy. Boston, to their credit, is playing well at home, at least in not allowing teams to score. So San Diego only managed the 1 goal. And this took place again at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, as they are just waiting on that stadium to be wrapped up. I think it's supposed to be done before the year's over. So next year, Boston will officially get to play in their real home stadium. But for now, it'll be in the cacophonous Patriots Stadium. All right. Orlando and Angel City. Game actually went fairly true to what I figured was going to happen. Orlando scores first. Angel City equalizes. Orlando counters. But I expected Angel City to equalize before the end was over. But because the scoring took so long, Orlando didn't get the lead until very, very deep in the game. So that second goal ended up being the difference maker. Unfortunate, but such is life. But yeah, that's the first loss for Angel City. There are no undefeateds going into this first break. Houston Dash and Racing Louisville ended up in a very offense-heavy affair. Houston ends up taking the 4-3 win, claiming the home mark. But yeah, that's about what I expected from Louisville. We're gonna see some wild offensive games. I didn't think it was gonna get that high since it was in Denver, or not in Denver, in Houston, but nonetheless. Utah still struggling a little bit with their own scoring, but they did manage 1 goal against Chicago, and that was enough to win. So then we have Kansas City pulling a 2-1 win over Gotham. They played a fairly solid match and at least got themselves off of the 3-game losing streak before going to break. Meanwhile, Gotham, they got their 2nd goal of the season, but it is coming at the cost of just not really generating points in the standings. They are starting pretty far back as we go these first few games. And the game that most recently finished, North Carolina Courage and Portland Thorns, ended up in a 2-2 draw. Each team takes a point. That does benefit Portland in the standings. They move up to 10 points. They're one of only 2 teams in double digits. But now that is still with an extra match on a few different teams. So with a game in hand, a few teams are actually probably in a better position. North Carolina still struggling to rack up big points here. This is becoming an issue for them. Bay FC and Washington Spirit. Tomorrow, that should be a fun one here. It is going to air, looks like after the college basketball championship game. South Carolina and UCLA playing for the women's title. So it'll be a nice follow-up to the championship. And otherwise, we got this game here. As far as the standings go, let's talk how the live table looks. If everything was to hold right now, Seattle will end up at 10 points. And with their goal differential being what it is, they would be in 3rd due to their head-to-head loss against Portland. So we'll go San Diego with 12, Portland at 2, Seattle at 3. Angel City would be sitting in 4th place at 9 points. Houston would be in 5th place, also at 9 points, but with a worse goal differential and a head-to-head loss. Beyond that, we would see Orlando sitting at 8 points, Utah sitting at 7, and with Denver having a draw, they and Bay FC would be both at 6 at the current moment. So it would depend on the result of the Bay game. If Bay lost, they would go behind Denver. If they managed to draw or win, they would go ahead. If they won, Bay could actually move up, potentially with at least a 2-goal win. They could get ahead of where Seattle is right now. They would need a big win to get ahead of Houston. So yeah, more than likely they would just barely get ahead of Orlando and sit at 6th. Meanwhile, it's the Spirit looking to try to get themselves up to 6 points, which would set them up in that logjam. Definitely a crowd at 6 points sitting in the 8th position. And if that game ends in a draw, Bay would go ahead of Utah because of their superior goal differential, but that's about it. Washington, getting their 4th point, would still be behind Gotham and North Carolina, sitting at 11 and 12 respectively. Definitely an underachievement considering where I thought those teams were going to be. But it's still very early. We're talking about, at this point, by the end of the week, everyone will have played 4 games and about 10 teams will have played 5. So, nothing too shocking or awe-inducing yet, but it is definitely something to make note of. Incidentally, Michigan, Arizona, the men's tournament in its entering its final 3 right now, as UConn eliminated Illinois earlier with a 9-point victory. Michigan is winning by 12 over U of A, so Arizona going to need to make an attempt at a comeback here fairly soon. As for what we're seeing, yeah, Michigan-UConn would be a fun matchup. Arizona-UConn would be a fun matchup as well. So I don't mind either one. Definitely looking forward to South Carolina versus UCLA. Be nice to see a West Coast team win. It's been a little while. Honestly, since with the exception of Stanford, there really hasn't been much in the way of teams out west claiming titles. I think before Stanford started winning titles, and they've only won 3, the West's greatest representation was like Cheryl Miller's USC squads. So, yeah, I'm always happy to see some shift in the action there. I think that covers most of the big stuff today and for the rest of this weekend. But we are at halftime right now. I am going to take a water break here. So I will mute here for a minute, and we will be back when the second half gets ready to start. Ooh, almost forgot. About to go to period 2. So there we go. All right. Be back in a little bit. All right, I think we're back and ready here. So, yeah, a lot of the slowdown just now came down to just getting things adjusted. Sun is starting to drop a little, so natural lighting is no longer an option. So, here we go. We're about to see the game start up. I'm trying to shrink down this thing here so we can get started. And from the kickoff. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. Not yet. It's sure taking a while to get this thing sorted. All right, there we go. All right, so Denver took the kickoff. Got about 2 kicks in before seized up by a Seattle player. And now we're back on the counterattack for Seattle. Ball kicked forward. Is this going to be an option? It could be. Adams gets the ball in the box on the right side, but is not able to maneuver past the left fullback and is forced to just kick it off of them. And it will be a corner kick, but yeah, I definitely think they were hoping for a lot more there. Hoping over these 2 weeks. I think I'm going to be able to get a soccer-based background. I got to work on getting a change to the clothes on this model here. That doesn't fit super well with the footballer, but that's all right. Okay. The corner went out the side but stayed in play, so it's a lot of passing back and forth. Okay, jersey color says blue for Seattle, and then for Denver it says snow. Like we're really just making up. All right, it's not even a Crayola color. All right, ball gets sent forward. I think that's Mondesir. Oh, they're calling her offside though. This will be a kick to Denver. It wasn't off by much, but they were not they weren't having it. All right, ball stays on the ground. They try not to boot it. So now here comes the pressure again. It's once again, as you would expect, Sonis on the right side trying to make something happen. Unable to work, so they start swinging the ball back. All right, back on the right side again. Ball being run up. At this distance, it is harder to tell, so that was likely Sonis, but it also easily could have been Megan Reed. Right now we got back and forth again, so you know the pattern, everybody. Went to McClernand, pass back to Dickey. One of the midfielders came up, didn't work. Play wasn't where she wanted, sends it back to McClernand, goes back to Dickey. Now sends it back forward to a midfielder. Lost control, but she swings it immediately over to Mason. Pushes up to Huerta, who's starting to run forward. Has to send it back to Mason. Kicks it across. Looked like I was going to Fishlock, but just very aggressive defensive play there from Denver. They try to get a counterattack going here 3 minutes in. Whistle blown. It's going to be a free kick to Denver. It's been one of the more... definitely been an interesting game here so far as both teams... I think now they have more of a feel for each other, but it is definitely an intriguing matchup. All right, here we go. Once again, we got Mondes here. Sends it up. And that looks like I couldn't tell if that was Huerta or Mason would run up forward. But as the play happened, they had to force the ball. Okay, so here we go. Now I can get a good look. So Fishlock Kicks it in the box. Mondesir, this is where I was. That's where I saw it. And then Fishlock presses it forward. Oh, it was Huerta. And Huerta just is a slide tackle to kick the ball out, so they were able to get a throw-in out of it. This time it's going out the back, and I think we're going to have a corner kick coming. Fishlock has looked extremely frustrated much of this game. Definitely clear. I think they've been focusing pretty firmly on making sure she doesn't get any type of rhythm going. This is the fifth corner for Seattle. Denver has 6 themselves. Play goes out of bounds. It looks like Kostler and Fishlock might have banged heads. Both grabbing their head there. Fishlock also grabbing her ankle. Hands on her knees. She gets up. She is limping. So I think it might have also come on a landing, too. It's another corner attempt. This one immediately gets sent out by Denver's defense, and it's rolling back almost to midfield before anyone actually is able to get a handle on it. So here we go. Again, another counterattack attempt by Seattle. Comes the swing. It's coming forward. I think they were trying to press it up towards Mondesir, but isn't able to succeed. Mesa with the ball again. Tries to maneuver through 2 defenders. Is forced to back out. Sends it over to Curry. Curry over to Mason. Mason presses it forward. Ball gets kicked and kicked away by the left back. Once again, the foot of Carson Pickett keeps the play from going completely out on the heel for Denver. Very strong performance here in this game for Denver. They have definitely come in with a game plan as we approach the end of the 52nd minute. They are making things difficult for Seattle. Much respect to them. I mean, you're going into your first break here. The way it's looking, they would most likely be sitting top 8. So, in a league of 16, that is no small feat. All right, we have a counterattack going here again. Adams trying to get through, but 3 white jerseys. Nothing doing. Ryan with the ball, sends it backwards. Gets it back to herself, kicks it out. That one, it looked like it went to Sheehan. Ball gets kicked back again to Pickett. Pickett over to Kurtz. Back to Pickett. Trying to get an opening here. Lynch tried to make something happen with it. Did not work out, and the ball goes back to Seattle, who just kicks it straight back to their keeper. Here we go, a back and forth. So here we go. Whistle is blown. Hard to tell where they're going with it. It looked like it was happening on a play that happened around Mondesir. I think it might have been just too aggressive a play. Ball gets kicked up. Ball gets sent back. Once again, it's in the backfield. Kurtz with the ball. Kicks back and forth. Kurtz swings it over to Reed. Reed kicking up. Back to Kurtz. Now to Pickett, who has to chase the ball down, but is able to make it happen. She starts running forward. And ball gets forced out. And the ball goes out. It's a throw in. Kurtz is going to throw it. She tries to kick it right back, but her angle was so off, she barely got any power behind it. I think it was because she was not expecting the defense to come up behind her at that moment, and she ends up leaning way farther back. So now the counterattack goes to Seattle, who now's got the ball on the left side of the field, far side overall, outside the box. Tries to kick it in. It's headed away by Denver. Denver now trying to press the ball up again. This one going to, I think that's Ryan. He runs with the ball, forces it to the right side, sends it back to Ryan, who's running up the field. Oh, man, that has to be a foul. She basically got shot blocked. I mean, 54, almost 55 minutes into the match. This, when you're exhausted, you do not want a slide tackle that basically lifts you up and causes you to roll a good 360 on, like, sideways. So, yeah. Shook her up a bit. That is a free kick to Denver near the top of the box. That said, they don't try to play it aggressively. They send it back. Doesn't mean they don't have... They're not assured from that position. They do have Abby Smith come out of the box so she can control the ball a little bit. And they try to long pass it through. It's on the left side. Doesn't work out. Pickett tried to go a little bit ahead. And that counter almost came back to bite him. Because they ended up having a lot of extra space in place for Seattle there. I think Mercado was... Took a shot at the top of the box, but lucky for them, it was deflected. 56 minutes in, 0-0. Yeah, it was Mercado. And for Denver's good fortune, it wasn't even a conscious one. Kurtz just happened to be right in front of her. She just stuck her leg out a little bit. Ball gets rolled back here. Seattle's counterattack once again. Get into the midfield this time. Running through two different defenders for a good 20 yards. Chasing through them before they're able to finally pass. Now they move to the right side of the field. This one goes to Adams. Adams kicks it, crosses it through. This is an opportunity, and it goes over the net. That was a chance there for Mercado. She actually had an open look, but trying to get through Abby Smith makes you try to kick higher, and she just kicks way, way too high. It has been a difficult one here. Say what you will here. In the hands of a good keeper who has a decent mind for strategy, like, an expansion team can play definitely well above what you'd expect them to do. You should be taking notes on what they can expect from second-year teams like Golden State and the expansion squads, Toronto and Portland, over in the WNBA. Ooh, here comes the cross. Ball sent up. This could be an opportunity. It's being chased down, but nope, the D-line gets to it. Denver had an opening there, and it looked like Yasmin Ryan was going to be in position to make a play off it, but then rushing in is the defensive line, forcing it out the side before she can actually take a shot with it, and this will be a throw-in. She throws it, gets passed right back to her. I think she's trying to cross it in, but too aggressive of defenders, not enough room. So here we go. Goes the press. It swings over to the right side. Once again, the back's in control of the ball here. They're playing it slow. They're trying to find a space. This has been a very cerebral game. And there's Ryan taking a shot, but she can't get any air on it. It just kind of spikes around on the ground. And it becomes fairly pedestrian to stop. Dickey just kind of lays out to make sure it doesn't, like, inadvertently roll over her hand. Because this thing basically turned into like a little spinner where it's like rolling off to the side, but the bounce is awkward. So yeah, she just laid out to make sure there was enough space where it's not going to become a factor. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. Two very smart teams. It's fun to watch this strategies of these play out. You know, I've been doing this now. It is the third week of live, and also got to see Gotham and Boston. So in terms of, and wasn't able to broadcast it though. So in terms of the league, I believe I've seen 8 teams now for a full 90. Let's see, we've got Gotham, Boston. Oh, we got a sub here. It's on Denver's side. Ayo Oki is coming in on the defensive side. She's replacing Una McCormick as we approach an hour into this match. Also, Devin Lynch stepping out for Emma Regan. Emma Regan, number 6. Devin Lynch was number 5. OK is going to be number 7, replacing Una McCormick, number 14. So that's the first substitute window for those who are relatively new to American soccer, NWSL specifically. There are still 3 sub windows like there would be in any other league. However, you are allowed to substitute up to 5 players over those 3 windows. So if you want to substitute 3 in a single substitution and then 1 on the other 2, that is completely fine. You want to do 2 sets of 2 and a 5th single, that's also an option. You just, if you do, you can't have more than 3 sub windows, and you cannot swap more than 5 players. So just a little bit of knowledge for those of you who are relatively new. So Ayo Oke was in Liga MX Femenil before this, so she does have some credibility. She has won the Mexican League's title. Ball being pressed up, by the way. But as soon as Denver gets into the box, it's stuffed, and Seattle just kicks it straight out the side. This will be a throw-in. Yeah, so far I've seen Seattle, I've seen Denver, I've seen Bay, I've seen Angel City, I've seen Seattle, as I say, San Diego. Seen Chicago. Move there. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I did watch all of Angel City's first match there as well. So, and then, yeah, Denver and Gotham and Boston. So I've seen 9 teams in the league already. I'm hoping to be able to just get my eyes like on a firm 90 minutes, uninterrupted of all teams fairly quickly. Want to be able to craft like an opinion that's not just based on watching a game after the fact. Doesn't like click as much because you're not paying as much attention when you already have the result. And the highlights, they are helpful, but you want to be able to sit down, especially with teams that I thought were doing a lot better, like Washington and North Carolina. Very much surprised by what I've seen from them early on. All right, we are nearing the end of the 63rd minute here. Denver's still got the ball in their offensive half. They have done a very good job attacking this half. The ball stays up. That one being played by Pickett. Sent back. Kurtz trying to keep the ball in the section before they have to run back. Ball is stolen. Back's got to make their run. You know, with Kurtz and Pickett there, you had the other 2 basically in position, ready to chase as soon as it was time. Adams with the ball on the right side. Crosses it in. This is a chance at a header. And no speed on it at all. It was basically a pop fly for Abby Smith to play. Mercado has been making a lot of attempts at goal. She just hasn't had any mustard behind any of them. And ball being walked up the field this time. Looking at it, I believe that would, I think that's Natalie Means. I can't tell from without the number. Yep, that is Means. Nope, never mind. Scratch that. That is Kurtz. Means is on the other side. There we go. Okay. Sends it. Kicks it back. Yeah, she's playing that holding mid spot where she's near the back line but is running a lot through the middle. Here we go. Now it's over in the hands of Seattle. And we're back into their loop. Ball gets pressed forward to Adams. Adams pushes it up. That one goes to Fishlock. Fishlock sending it over. It's going to be attempted at a give and go. That is a... They're not calling that a foul. Just an aggressive play. Denver's able to steal the ball. No consequence. Launches the ball into no man's land, where Dickey goes out in front of the box and seizes control. And it's a pass back to Mason. Mason trying to make a play happen. Gives up, sends it back to Dickey, who will likely be trying by swinging it over to McLernan. Nope. Going to give it back to Mason. Try again from the right side. Gives it over to Adams. But she's not fast enough to get the ball. It rolls out. It's going to be a throw into Denver. We have a substitution. 2 players coming in for Seattle. We've got Jess Fishlock coming out. Sally Menti coming in. So number 10 exiting, number 17 coming in. And we have one other substitution happening there. I saw 10 for 17. They didn't show the second substitution. And we went into the split screen mode. I really dislike when they do that. Waiting to find out who the last substitute is. Again, this is a broadcasting failure on the part of Ion. Like, that's something where you don't go picture-in-picture ads in the middle of a substitution unless you plan to air it. All right, they are at least doing it. Jess Fishlock for Sally Menti, and the second one, Ainsley McCameron going in for Angarad James Turner. So that will be number 8 getting replaced by number 16 in the midfield. Yeah, I actively was annoyed by that last game where they neglected to put the substitution in after their picture-in-picture. But, okay, now they're going again. Denver pressing to the right side, not able to get... But the cross actually does get in front of the net, but no handling on the ball, and it's just forced out. Denver did try to make something occur there. Let's see here. So, Regan gets it through. Then Oke kicks it up. And then as expected, Sonis. And then Carson Pickett ended up with a foot on the ball, but just not able to turn herself and actually secure it. All right, so we're 11 shots in for each team. So they're playing a fairly even shot battle. In terms of shots on target, it's now 3-2. So very balanced game overall. I will say that with Seattle being a long-established team, previously having Lyon as a parent, now independently run, of course, seeing Denver in their opening year, still in that what would be, I believe, their 5th match, holding their own, very much an impressive feat. Ball going again to Seattle. This one in at the foot of Mondesir. She's running it backwards. Sends it back to Huerta. Ball stolen. This could be a chance. Okay, with the ball, trying to run at it. She might get a shot at this. Is at a bad angle. She tries to cross it, but even there wasn't a great angle to cross. It just goes harmlessly out the side of the box, and the ball gets kicked out by Seattle. It'll be a throw-in. You know, this was a really well played, but the ball just rolled too quickly. And that was here we go. So now another chance to play here. Ryan up at the front now, trying to make a play, makes a move off the ball. Ooh, she was not able to get away from them enough to take the shot, but she was standing right next to the penalty spot where she was ready to go on the attack. Ball gets to her. Unfortunately for her, 2 on defense right there. So good attempt though. And now Pickett is in place to try to do a corner kick. looking, Seattle has moved a lot of players down. So they are very much not going to allow a goal here in the 70th minute. Only about 5 near the net for Denver, with a 6th playing outside. And she's the one who ends up with it because the ball gets over kicked. And ball gets knocked out. It's another throw in. And they're going to slow it down. They're going to have the throw in be done by someone else. Yep, Kurtz is running in to do it. Here we go. We're nearly 70 minutes in here. This could be a chance for a play. There was another chance there. Yasmin Ryan again had the ball in front of her, but she was turned around. And with so many defenders, there was no chance she would be able to turn, so she tried to pass it. Just too many people all going at once. And it's going to be a free kick going again to Denver. Seattle tried to go on the counterattack. Gets the ball into the offensive third. But Regan ends up getting knocked down as Adams contests for the ball. And they grant her a free kick. For what it's worth, I don't know that she had inside position. But, oh yeah, on April 25th, it looks like they got a doubleheader. Chicago and Boston. That actually could be an interesting matchup. Denver and San Diego. We'll see if we can do both. I haven't seen both teams. I'm not itching to see it. Denver, San Diego actually could be very fun, though, especially going, since it's going to be in Denver. That'll be a fun time. Yeah, I feel like this broadcast is running a lot smoother, aside from the fact that at some point the thing just randomly cut out on me. Having the match thread up all at once so I can have both rosters in front of me. It's still not the perfect setup. I'm still trying to sort out how I want to do this because I feel like it's taken me too long to visibly eyeball the numbers and also scroll to see both rosters. But it's working for the most part. I am definitely making mistakes in who's got it. Oh! And that was an attempt at a header there. That had to be Sonis. That was a great cross. So yeah, once again here, it's Ryan. Launches across. Sonis, header, and yeah, to point out where she is. She is basically like one step behind the goalie box. And tries to head it with a good bit of force. But there was no real angle on it, so as long as Dickey came in with a firm hand grip, it was going to work fine. One thing I do like is eventually, because of how many the players who you see constantly on the attack, I'm immediately like, oh, that's Mondesir. Oh, that's Sonis. I get used to just saying the same names because they're the ones constantly on the attack. And we're going to have a free kick going to Seattle. That was a fairly aggressive play there. But it basically just looked like they were just bashing against each other, trying to seize control of the ball here. So let's look here. So Menti was trying to... Was that Menti? I think so. And that was Sheehan who gets called for the foul. I was like... I was waiting for somebody to give me jersey numbers, because only way I can kind of get a gauge is based on what the jersey number looks like most of the time. Which isn't a perfect system because we're at a faraway angle. And I'm looking at this through what is effectively half of a single monitor. Alright, so here we go. We have The ball in the hands of the backfield for Denver again. 75th minute has begun. And it's going back. This one to Kurtz. This one to Pickett. Sends it forward. That one. Yep, that was Sheehan. Went to the middle. Now it's swung to the right side. Sonis tries to cross and lands at the feet of a defender. Seeing, I believe Sheehan's got back control of it. So still in the midfield. Forced to kick back to the backfield. Now it's pressed up. Is that Ryan? Either way, it was sent very high. Nope, that is Pickett. All right, 15 minutes left in this match. We're still at a 0-0 game. Starting to wonder if we are just going to end up with a 0-0 draw and we just have these teams each just take a point from this. The ball getting walked up by Dickey. This time she actually does send it up the field to see what can happen, and nothing happens. Goes straight to the backfield of Denver, and here we go again. That was okay. I believe that was given to Ryan. Goes to Sonis. Oh, it's kicked up. Pickett trying to press it up. Gets deflected. Defense for Seattle kicks it out. That'll be a throw in Denver. This has been a very aggressive half for Denver. Definitely a lot going for him this go around here, 76 minutes into the match. I am very thoroughly impressed with what I've seen so far. Denver can definitely play with teams. But again, it was to be expected. I knew they were going to be more competent than Boston, but I was not expecting the gap to be this wide. Denver basically is doing the San Diego Wave textbook, where their thing above all else was, we're going to be good immediately. We are roster building. We have a plan for how we're going to set that up. Boston tried to follow the Angel City plan of, we are going to establish a base and make ourselves a destination brand in this league. But they botched their own branding very early on. So they ended up basically behind the 8 ball in 2 different areas. And the fact that their stadium needed an extra year to be finished was just adds to the fire. An attempt at a shot, weak attempt at a shot by Mondes here. We do have a sub. Adams went out for the rain. And I believe it's Ratcliffe. Yep, Ratcliffe. Brittany Ratcliffe, number 13, replacing number 7. So that's the second window. There's still 2 substitutions they're allowed to do, as long as they do them both in the last window. Yeah, it's definitely frustrated. Plenty of opportunities all around for the teams here. They wanted to see something happen, but yeah, really nothing doing. Really fun play though for everyone involved. It's been a good time. Looks like another corner. Sonis is going to do the kick as we now cross into the 79th minute of play. He's backing out. Here comes the kick. Again, not many players high and very well positioned for Seattle. It's like you're not going to be able to get a lot of open looks unless it just happens to fall at you. They attempt a Pele kick to try to set something up. It did not pan out, but I mean, I admire the creativity. And Seattle forces the ball out, but got quite a bit of distance. It rolls out basically at midfield. Right, ball goes over. Here comes the throw in. Takes it. It's fielded, and Player got pulled down, but no foul called. Ball gets kicked over to the right side. Most likely, just based on the position, that looks like Sonus. She swings it back, though. Now it's in the middle. Goes into the box. Couldn't tell who that was, but from the box, she was trying to turn around and get a look. Defense got as soon as she turned and faced. Yeah, very firm defensive effort from both squads. It has been a pleasure to watch, like, very sturdy defense. As you look for, and honestly, the offense has not been bad. They have played a good, aggressive match, and both teams have had plenty of chances. It just so happens we have two really solid goalkeepers in this match. All right, once again, here we go from the attack from Denver. Ball gets stolen. This one, Mondesir trying to do something. She's come to the other side a little more here. The ball is drifted to the opposite side. Denver trying to get an attack going. This one going to be Pickett trying to send it. Doesn't work out. Kurtz back in control of the ball. Sends it over to Reed. Reed holding the ball here. 80.5 minutes into the match. Waiting to see something materialize. It gets pushed to the right side. Cross with the ball. Kicks it back to Reed. Goes back to the middle. A good 8 blue jerseys all in the center here. Just no room to breathe surrounding the box. Yeah, very clearly Seattle, I think, is realizing they are not showing enough attack prowess in this second half, and they might be getting tired. So they're just focused on not letting a goal happen here and losing the 1 point they actually have earned so far. Ball comes up. Ends up at the feet. Not working out. Seattle kicks it out the side, and we have a throw-in. This ball could easily be thrown into the box. 81.5 minutes into the match. Another throw gets sent back to the thrower. Passes it back. This is Sheehan. Goes through, ball deflected. It goes back to Kurtz. Kurtz kicks over. The line got broken up there for a second. Kurtz and Reed got swapped. They had to move back into position. Reed with the ball again. Going to, I believe, okay. This is up. Now it's getting pressed forward into the front. Ball lost on the attempt to control. Yep, that was okay. Ball goes out the side. It's going to be a throw-in. It was almost a corner kick, but it went out right before the little spray where the corner kick is placed. So just enough space. Kurtz is going to make the throw from deep. Will she be trying to throw it into the box? She is. Immediately gets back to her, pops it back in. Will a kick actually come from it? There is a shot, but it goes wide. Misses the net by about maybe a foot or two. So it's going to be a goal kick. Okay, it's going to be another one of those where Dickey doesn't kick it herself. Rather, it's going to get kicked to her, and then she's going to walk it up, and we're going to run through our loop. Yep, there it is. Off to McClernand. Pushes it up. Ball ends up back in Denver's hands again. That ends up at the feet of Reed, who sends it to Kurtz, who sends it to Reed. Sends it, I believe that's Sonus based on the sprinting. Sends it up to OK. OK tries to cross too far past the net, and it has to be forced out by Seattle. And we have another corner coming in with the 84th minute rapidly approaching its finish here. Will one of these set plays actually materialize into a goal? At this point, we are rapidly running out of time for that to happen. The save of the half was one from Mercado, where Mercado was trying to score. Abby Smith just shuts it down. That was the save of the first half, it looks like, because, yeah, that was fairly early on. I was going to say, the save of this half absolutely needed to be the one where Dickey stopped the header from about 5 yards in front of her. As evidenced by the fact that I didn't mention the corner, obviously not much happened. So once again, Dickey with the ball. She's going to take a free kick because there was a foul on the play near the corner. So she's out of the box, but she'll complete this kick and then just run back. Ball gets launched to about the midfield stripe. 50-50 ball. It lands in Denver's hand at Ryan. Gets pressed up. We have an opportunity for scoring, possibly. Nope. The back line, very quick. Very quick on the uptake, these Seattle defenders. These counterattacks have been really impressive, too. Is it just, if you go based on just the second half, you would think Denver absolutely is the team set to win here. And having those 4 forwards up definitely seems like it has affected Seattle. Their offense wore themselves out trying to create openings early, and I think it gassed them. But their defense is ridiculously well conditioned. They are not... yeah, they're not giving any ground so far. The ref's communicating with the booth. So yeah, they're checking here as we are in the 87th minute of the match. Whistle blown. Here we go. Yeah, it's going to be a throw-in. Ryan throws it into the box. Ball gets kicked through. Denver's back to keep it from going out, but nonetheless, Seattle's able to get a counterattack going. Could this be their moment? Ball gets kicked forward. Oh, no. 3 white jerseys, and it's led straight to the goalkeeper's hands. Smith pulls it up. Should we do a drop kick? It looks like, nope, she's dropping the ball and letting the backs handle it. Both teams very patient. Denver has outshot Seattle 18-11. Now the shots on target are even 3-3. That really hasn't changed much. But it was 11-11 at one point on shots. And all of this difference has happened basically since the first set of substitutes. So about an hour in. Here's the pass. Okay again. Outside. Beats the defender. Gets to the box. No real chance at aiming. Tries to kick it on the ground for a shot, but the midfielders for Seattle are back, and they force it up. And now here we are at midfield again. Here's a chance to press up. Okay, I see an orange headband. I'm trying to figure out, because I know that's a substitute, but I don't got the names solid on the subs. All right, we're in the 89th minute here. Counterattack is over. And, oh, no, now it's back. The ball's stolen quickly. But the ball rolls past him, and Smith just allows it to roll over to her. It's at the top of the goalie box. Now she's walking up with it. Will she be sending it to her backs, or will she be trying to launch it? Guess we're not going to find out because they're switching over to some highlights. And just showing a lot of performance here, just from the keepers here. It has been an impressive effort for the keepers. Claudia Dickey has shown a lot of success so far. Ball gets kicked up. Once again, Denver really been in control for the last 30 minutes of this match. And that genuinely shocks me. That is not something I was expecting to see. Seattle, after the performance against Portland, I thought they wanted to treat it as a one-off, but clearly they've got some areas where they just drop off. And in this match in particular, it's clear if you load up the front, you can burn them out trying to make something happen. As long as your defense and goalkeeper are secure enough, that's not an issue. Yeah, they could definitely burn out. Seattle trying another attack, but really just can't get a clean look at the box. Orange headband is Ratcliffe. Okay. All right, they're going to announce how much injury time is being added here. I can't imagine it's going to be much. There haven't been that many stoppages. It's going to be a free kick here. Then we're going to try to press it up. 90 minutes officially. Here we go. They're only adding 2 minutes, so I will not set the timer. I'm just going to keep explaining it here as we go. 10 seconds into injury time. Here comes the counterattack here. Ratcliffe sends it back. Midfielder's trying to press it. Could this be Seattle's chance to try to score something? Now it goes to, I believe, Mondesir. She pushes it. Tries to get the cross and a header. Goes high, goes over the net. Again, that's Mercado. Tries to get underneath the ball, and she does, but all the way underneath. Ball just goes straight up. Denver's going to try to take points here because they are doing a sub window. Kostler comes out, and she's going to be replaced by Olivia Thomas. So number 25 for number 33. Additionally, Carson Pickett comes out, being replaced by Natalie Means. So 16 comes out, 4 comes on. That's their second sub window. Technically, each team has one more, but with the game only having a minute left, I don't know what that would actually accomplish. That appeared to be just a way to slow the game down. Ball stolen. Could this be the moment? Could this be a chance for Seattle? They kick it forward, trying to make something happen. No. Abby Smith is like, I have not I've not had a clean sheet this whole match to allow it to happen on a busted play. She runs forward and just jumps at the ball. Does a full sideways slide to stop that. So now, could this be enough? Will they have enough time for a counterattack? Denver is in the offensive side. Could it go into the attacking third, or are they going to blow the whistle? There's a chance for Seattle again. Ratcliffe tries to cross, deflected, leaves the box. They're calling it. That's it there. As soon as it left the box, they're blowing the whistle on it, and we are done here. And with that, we have ourselves the end of the match. And with that, let's set it to final. Final score, Seattle, nothing. Denver, nothing. So a point for each. So to update the table, that officially puts Seattle in definitively the third position with 10 points. They are the third team to double digits. Denver, with that draw, is currently positioned in ninth because of fewer goals scored compared to Bay FC. However, Bay FC still has their match coming up tomorrow, so it's not officially the break standings yet. If Bay loses their match to Washington, they would end up, because they're even on goal differential, even a 1-goal loss would drop them below Denver. A drawn effort would put Bay FC ahead of Utah Royals FC for 7th. A victory would put them in 6th place ahead of Orlando, and then it would just need to be a large goal differential in order to get themselves ahead of Houston or Angel City. Unlikely, though, considering who they're playing. We shall see, though. It has been a fun start to the season. Not the way a lot of people would have projected it. But yeah, so far, we've got a top three who are all above 10 or up. San Diego, Portland, and Seattle. And then right below them, you have Angel City and Portland, and not Portland, Houston, with a game in hand, and only a point out of second place, 3 points out of first. In Angel City's case, they actually have a superior goal differential, so if they won their game in hand, they'd be at the top of the table. So it makes for an interesting setup here. I certainly would tell everyone involved this is going to be an interesting league here a mere month into the season. We've got some interesting stuff going on. Hope everyone is able to tune in and enjoy the fun. I am putting I'm just doing a check of the Final Four. Give you a quick score update if you haven't been paying attention to it. They're showing highlights of the Michigan players, which tells me they're probably ahead. They were ahead earlier. Just waiting on it now. Oh, by the way, with the stats right now, Kiki Van Zanten currently leading in terms of most goals. She's scored 4 for the Houston Dash. Ashley Sanchez of North Carolina, Barbara Banda of Orlando with 3 each as well. Yeah, second half has just started, so if anyone is going to watch, UM is currently up 16 over U of A. And we'll see if anything gets done here. Arizona is undefeated when they're down at halftime, though I don't think they've been down by this much at any of those points. In any case, happy Easter to all of you celebrating. If you're still in the middle of Passover, hope you're enjoying that celebration as well. We will not have the NWSL next week as nothing is active at the time. However, I want to look at the upcoming schedules here to see if there's another opportunity. A lot of teams are in the international zone here. We have basically all of the English squads are on break as well. They will be going the week of the 25th as well. So it will just be a lot of waiting around. I believe some of the cups, though, are happening. Let me see what I can find. Because I do want to run some match on here. There we go. I think it's the Women's FA Cup. Now, unfortunately, it's running this weekend. So quarterfinal will not be an option there either. I set to the so you hit the mask there. Had to put that on for a moment. But yeah, no, we'll figure out what we're gonna watch next week here, even though we're on break. So, in any case, very solid effort from both squads. Denver has definitely proven that they belong in the league very quickly, racking up 6 points here. Tied for the 8th position a month into the season. Seattle has looked iffy at various times, dropping that game to Portland despite having an 11-on-9 advantage for a half hour. And then here, just looking gassed 60 minutes in and just having to ride the defense to a single point. But nonetheless, in spite of how poor they've looked at times, they're at 10 points and they are in 3rd in the league. So it's a month you want to take some optimism in because you have definite room to grow and you're still in a solid position. However, if these problems are more long-lasting, that is going to be a significant problem. And so, yeah, I'll talk more about this as I go through the hierarchy. Seattle and Denver are definitely going to be on that list. I think for this first one, I might tier it, though I do want to do an official top 10. So look forward to that this week as I go through the games. I'm already starting to put the slides together for the game recaps. But yeah, if you're able to watch tomorrow, women's national title, South Carolina and UCLA, followed immediately or within a few minutes by the Bay FC Washington Spirit match. We will see if the Spirit have gotten any momentum put together or whether this plague of draws and dropping points will continue. Now to a second-year sophomore squad who has looked pretty solid, all things considered, really looking bad against Angel City. In any case, talk to you all soon. Happy Easter. Look forward to you guys watching this week as we go through all of the action. And go Angels.